ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Unsettling stories of misinformation coming from COVID patients at a local hospital's ICU unit. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. As ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen discovered, some of the patients at Kaiser Permanente refuse to believe they have the virus.
Inside the ICU at two Kaiser Permanente hospitals, fueled by the Delta variant, cases of COVID in the past month have been on the rise, mirroring county trends, including a doubling of hospitalizations in the past week. And just like across the county, the unvaccinated and partially vaccinated are most at risk. Dr. William Sang heads the local COVID vaccine program for Kaiser Permanente.
We're not seeing people who are fully vaccinated ending up in the hospital or being in the intensive care unit.
When it comes to those being hospitalized, Dr. Sang believes there's a fairly even breakdown between those who say they don't have enough information, those who are opposed to vaccines,
Doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter what you say, they just don't want it.
and those who are hesitant.
I know there's enough information out there, I just didn't do it. Still hear the question about, is there a microchip in there? I still hear about the infertility question.
Dr. Sang says whatever the reason for not getting vaccinated, most are remorseful.
As they're getting well, and like when can I get the vaccine, or where should I get the vaccine?
For others, the regret isn't there because they don't believe in COVID, even when they're shown test results.
There's a segment of population who are hospitalized who still do not believe that this is COVID.
Dr. Sang declined to give numbers, but says that segment isn't a large number. Across the globe, there are reports of COVID deniers who still maintain the virus is a hoax.
That's concerning to me. In order to really defeat this pandemic, we need to understand and we need to trust the science.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Our local case numbers continue to rise at an alarming rate. The county reported another 717 cases today, and our latest test positivity rate was 6.6%. One more San Diegan lost their life to COVID.
San Diego County is seeing a spike in new COVID cases, so much so that if California still used the tier system, we would be in the second most restrictive tier. We're taking an in-depth look at the numbers. Yesterday, the county reported 82% more cases in the past week than the previous week. The county's case rate is 7.6 cases per 100,000 residents. Dr. Kevin Bamanpour, that is, at Sharp Healthcare says unvaccinated San Diegans are responsible for the uptick.
The problem is the people who haven't been vaccinated. So those people are the ones who, that 30% who haven't been vaccinated, they're the ones who actually, they're gonna cause, and they're the reasons that we have Delta, Lambda, and all those other variants that we have in the community.
If the state still had the tier system, we'd be in the red tier, which at the time meant closed bars and limited capacity at restaurants, gyms, and other indoor facilities. If the state had not reached 2 million vaccinations, San Diego would have been in the even more restrictive purple tier because the state created a trigger to loosen the tier system based on vaccinations. That, of course, is all a hypothetical. But what's real is the county's case rate. It's rising again. Before the tier system ended, we had a case rate of 1.2% on June 8th. On June 22nd, it was 1.6. On July 6th, it rose to 2.5. And now it has skyrocketed to 7.6. Dr. Bamanpour says vaccines make all the difference.
We can fight this. We can make sure that we never have a fear. We can basically we can beat COVID if we make sure that we take care of the vaccination.
The county says it will follow the state's guidelines when it comes to mask mandates. You can stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
Bomb squad teams are in their 8th hour checking out a potentially dangerous scene at an apartment complex in National City. Hundreds of people are still out of their homes. This started when a man said he had a bomb and flammable liquid inside his apartment. He tried to run from police, but they sent dogs after him. He is now in the hospital being treated for bites. The bomb squad is investigating some possibly suspicious items. They tell us crews will be there well into the night. A guilty verdict involving the death of a Southern California Navy medic. But ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner explains why the victim's family is not happy with the punishment handed down.
I spoke to the parents of the deceased corpsman, which is a type of medic and a sailor for the Navy. They said today that the sentence is far too light and they are simply stunned. A guilty verdict for the most senior ranking of 5 Navy corpsmen who've been connected to the shooting death of fellow corpsman Michael Vincent de Leon. ABC 10 News' cameras have not been allowed into any previous court hearings to capture video of HM1 Ryan Dinney, whose trial on base at Camp Pendleton ended this week with Dinney being found guilty of dereliction of duty resulting in death for failing to prevent junior sailors from handling firearms, dereliction of duty for failing to enforce the weapons safety rules, and dereliction of duty for handing a firearm to a junior sailor who was under the influence of alcohol.
I am devastated. I am devastated at the outcome of this trial.
De Leon's father, J.D., ran out of the courtroom Wednesday to call ABC 10 News. He was livid at the sentence.
It's like, what the hell is going on here? This is not justice. This is a joke.
The base confirmed that Ryan Dinney was handed down a sentence of 100 days in the brig and a reduction in rank from E6 to E5, which results in a drop in his pay.
There is no justice. They find him guilty of dereliction of duty, causing death of our son, but yet give him 100 days. This is what's wrong with our military.
The De Leon family said that their son captured this Snapchat video before he was shot during a party with other corpsmen at a house on the 29 Palms base located northeast of San Diego. The prosecution has said that the corpsmen were drinking and dry-firing guns before a fatal round was fired. The De Leon family alleged a cover-up after ABC 10 News confirmed through sources with close military ties that their son's death was being investigated as a homicide, not a suicide like they said they were first led to believe. Before Ryan Dinney's guilty verdict this week, a second corpsman, Mason Williams, was found guilty in June of dereliction of duty and disorderly conduct. A third and fourth corpsman have been charged. A remaining fifth corpsman faces charges, but his hearing date has not been set. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
A dramatic helicopter rescue late today after a horse got stranded down a ravine in Carmel Valley. Sky 10 was there at the exact moment the team began hoisting that horse named Mackie into the air. It got quite a ride until they could finally set it down safely. Mackie seemed pretty happy to be back on the ground. The emergency call came in around 12:30. Mackie and his owner got stuck near the 56 in Carmel Valley Road. People were able to bring water, but the horse couldn't get out until the helicopter arrived to help. Both Mackie and the owner are now resting at home.
The UC system is raising tuition again. Today, the UC Regents approved the first tuition hike since 2017. Now, new in-state undergraduates enrolling in fall of 2022 will pay $534 more, bringing base tuition and fees to just over $13,000 a year. The amount would stay flat for those students for up to 6 years. The Regents say that the hike is needed to maintain the quality of the system and provide more financial aid. But critics say the increase will put more of a burden on low-income students.
The city overpaid a contractor nearly $1.2 million for portable showers at its convention center homeless shelter during the pandemic. Our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn has the new audit that tells the city to get that money back.
When the pandemic hit, the city moved hundreds of homeless people into a new shelter here at the convention center. It was in need of those portable showers that come in those trailers that look like semi-trucks. And to get them here, the city was willing to pay up.
If I would have known how much it cost to provide porta potties and showers, I would have bought the trailers and outhouses myself.
But Alpha Project CEO Bob McElroy didn't know just how much the city was paying for those portable shower trailers at the convention center, which took in residents from Alpha Project's bridge shelters starting in April 2020.
COVID was expanding rapidly, so actually creating a little small city in a matter of a few weeks was a Herculean effort.
The city had an existing contract to rent the shower trailers from a vendor for $20,000 a month. But a new audit says when it ordered more for the convention center, the vendor, which it doesn't name, more than doubled the price to $44,800 a month. The city didn't challenge it and overpaid $1.18 million to rent 6 of them for the shelter, which closed in March.
And I would hate to think that anybody would take advantage of that. If they did, there needs to be a consequence to that.
The audit recommends the city explore its options on getting the money back. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
Now, in a statement, the city says shower units were in especially high demand at the beginning of the pandemic, one of several factors that led to those higher prices. But it says it is examining the transaction and agrees with the auditor to explore whether it can get some of that money back.
The husband of missing Chula Vista mom Maya Miliete is officially a person of interest in her disappearance. This afternoon, the Chula Vista Police Department confirmed Larry Miliete is a person of interest in the case. But investigators won't disclose any more information right now. Larry Miliete was first mentioned as a person of interest during a court hearing yesterday on the gun violence restraining order against him. Maya Miliete was last seen in January.